Hello.
Yes.
Hi, thank you very much, Bharati. That was a mind-blowing introduction. Thank you so much. I'm humbled. Hello, everyone. My name is Gunjan, and I'm joining you all from Mumbai. And presently, I'm from, speaking with you all from Pune. So, yeah, good morning to all of you. Are you all ready for today's session? Um, I need your answers. So if you look at your screen, you see three tiny dots towards the right hand side bottom. If you're using your phone, um, I want to see your thumbs up. So I've shared a thumbs up on the screen. So all the students, you're ready. I am looking forward to a thumbs up from all of you. Awesome. All right. So I see amazing amounts of thumbs ups. All right. Mm-hmm. So my question to all of you is, does anybody know anything about mindfulness? Or when I say mindfulness, what comes to your mind? You can type it in the chat box. I'm looking at your chat. I'm reading them. So you can use the chat box, and I'm awaiting your replies. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, you're audible. I think they've been typing it.
All right. So yes, whatever comes to your mind when I say mindfulness, you can type there. Presence of mind, very good. That's what I see on screen. Waiting for other responses.
So, meanwhile, Gunjan ma'am, I just have a small announcement. Shall I do it?
Sure,
Yeah.
please.
So I request all the participants, please mute your microphones and also turn off your videos so that we can have an uninterrupted session. The feedback form will be given in the chat box on the second day of the session. So whoever fills the feedback form, those people are going to get the certificates. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Bharati. And now I see a lot of responses on the chat box. Somebody says it's presence of mind. Then it also says focus mind, determination, self-determination, staying stress-free. Yes, most of these responses are correct. But this is all that you will get once you start doing mindfulness. So this is like the byproduct. What else do you think comes to your mind with mindfulness? I'll wait for a couple of more responses and then we'll move forward. Yes, responses. All right. So now the next step is the moment I say stress, what comes to your mind? Again, please type it out in the chat box. I'm sure all of you will have a lot of ideas when it comes to stress. We all are stressed. We all have stress. So yes, what do you think, or what comes to your mind? The immediate word that comes to your mind when I say stress? Okay, somebody says lots to do, no time, very good. Tension, pressure, abnormal thinking, being tired, being totally involved in present, also that's mindfulness. Uneasy feeling, apprehension, stress. All right, there's more, there's much more. Yes, overthinking, emotional and physical tension, uneasy feeling, yeah, doing loads of things at a time and doing many things at one time. Yeah, emotional factor causing mental stress. Yes. All right. So we'll take a pause here and we'll now just sit up straight. Let's do this. Let's all of us just sit up straight wherever we are, wherever you're seated. Just sit up straight with your backbone straight. You don't have to be a rigid state. You have to be a relaxed state. And with this, let's take a deep breath in. Let's take a real deep breath in. So you can breathe in along with me. And let's breathe out. And when we breathe out, you can make a mild noise from your mouth. You can breathe out from your mouth. That would be more relaxing. All right. So the next thing that we do is we set ground rules for this session. As Bharti ma'am has already informed, everybody will stay on mute. However, if any of you has any sort of question that you want to ask me, in the chat box where you are required to type, over there you can select Gunjan Mystery and you can drop me a personal chat where you can type in your question or your doubt or anything that you have, because I'm reading all of your questions. You can post your questions over there. This will ensure that your names are completely anonymous. I will not be taking any names. So you can feel free to ask any questions if you have. And we'll also open the floor for any sort of question towards the end of this session. All right. And the third thing that, uh, you know, uh, which falls under the ground rule is, and this is the most important one, that there are a couple of exercises that I would be, suggesting that we all do. And I invite 100% participation, because unless and until you do not practice it, you do not try it out your own self, you'll not feel the difference. And we all know theory is not very helpful. We need to learn, we need to grow, and for all of that, practical is really important. So yes, given your 100%, there are a couple of very simple exercises that I've designed for all of you, and I invite you all to give your 100% participation. I will also look forward to feedback from all of you in the form of a thumbs up or a hand raising. You have it over there on, at the bottom of the screen towards the right hand side, where you see those three dots. You tap there and you'll see those emoticons over there. You can use any of these and I'll immediately come to know. All right. So let's start. Um, so when we say student life, that's a mixture of a lot of things, right? uh, there's studies, there's exams, there's tests, there's presentations, there's pressure, there's loads of pressure. Then you have peer pressure, you have family pressure, and then you also want to have fun, right? That also is a part of your life. We also want to have fun. We want to enjoy our college life. Besides all of these, there are your dreams, your ambitions, and then there is so much that you want to do. I also recollect in the chat when I asked about stress, a lot of you wrote, there's too much to do and too little time, and that also adds to your stress, right? So my question here is, what is the problem with all of these things? As a student, you are required to do a lot of work, and these are all the aspects of your life, the aspects of your student life. And all of us face a lot of problems in most of these issues. or in most of these aspects. However, a lot of times we get under a guilt state that, oh my God, I shouldn't be enjoying, or oh my God, I'm wasting a lot of time relaxing. I invite all of you to write down your own pressure point. So, yes, use the chat box again. Go ahead, write down what is your pressure point. Let's see what kind of, uh, troubles or issues you're facing, and let's see if we can, find a way to overcome them. So, I'll wait for a couple of responses in the chat box now. Lack of time. Okay. So I'll share one of my pressure points. For me, it is something that I call the hasty issue. So when I am required to do everything in a lot of hurry, I get really hassled, and that's something that I need to work on. So what are your pressure points? What is it that you think you need to work on? Okay, we have somebody saying multiple tasks, and you want to read and enjoy both. Cool. More. I'm waiting for more responses. Time management, overthinking. All right. Yeah, being able to prioritize, right? So there's somebody who says that we tend to give equal importance to everything, and that is a classic issue that most of us face when it comes to prioritization. We don't know what is more important, what should be given more importance, what shouldn't be given more importance. Perfect. Many works in nervousness. All right. Couple of more responses, then we move forward. Oh, okay, we can't say no. That's a classic issue. I also struggled with can't say no. Sometimes I still struggle with can't say no, but I've overcome the major part of it. Hmm. Yes, the feeling of being taken for granted, fear of the future, fear, guilty, saying no. Yeah, go on, tell me more. I'm reading all your responses. All right, let's do a one more question here. How many of you often have observed this, that whatever work you are doing, you're not present with the work, whether it's fun, whether it's enjoyment, whether it is study, whether it's spending time with your parents, you're not there 100%. It's like your mind is there or your body is there, but your mind is wandering somewhere else. How many of you have observed this? Let me see a raise of hands now. Okay, 20 people, all right. 8 more. Mm-hmm. Okay, most of us, yeah. Wow, 13 more, 12 more. Yes, absolutely. So this is one of the pressing issues that we all face, okay, as a student, that there is so much to do. There's so much of stress around. And the worst part is that we cannot give 100% to anything that we have at hand, right? So mindfulness is something that is going to help you be present in the present moment with your 100%. All right. So I'm not going to talk much about what mindfulness is and what it is going to do for you. I invite you all to practice it, experience it, and feel it. All right. So we'll dive straight into it. All right. Let us all sit up straight. So, two things you have to ensure: your backbone has to be straight. You don't have to be stiff straight. You have to be a relaxed state, a backbone straight, and if possible, eyes closed. Eyes closed. Let us all watch our breath. It's a very simple thing that we will do. Watch your breath. Just watch your breath. Observe your breath. How is it fast? Is it slow? What's the temperature like? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is there any difficulty you're facing? Are you able to breathe smooth? Check, check, watch your breath. Watch. Just watch the breath. Do not try to control the breath. Let it come and go at its normal pace. Follow your own rhythm. All right, let's slowly open our eyes. How are you feeling now, right now, in this moment? How are you feeling? Type it out in the chat box. Open your eyes and share. Relax, okay? Okay. Peaceful, wow. Relaxed. Feeling nothing, meaning calm, relax, all right. Okay. Anything beyond relax? Peaceful, positive, good, very good. Sometime went out through mind. Oh, awesome. So you literally had that mind go right. The chatterbox inside, right? In our minds we have that chatterbox that literally goes chatter, 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 chatter all the time, and there are so many thoughts here, everywhere. And there's a thought, and then there's a good thought, and then there's a bad thought, and then there is a scary thought, and then there's so much of chatter, chatter, chatter going on. Were you able to get peace or a relaxation or an escape from the chatter thing in the head? Did that happen? Yes. First time experience meditation. Okay. This is mindfulness. Okay, feeling like just woke up from bed. Very good. Thank you. All right. So I'll talk a little more about the thoughts that we have. Our mind. Okay. It's like a monkey. You know how monkeys are? They love jumping around, right? They love jumping from one tree to another, one branch to another, eat one fruit, take a bite, throw it off, take another fruit, take another two, three bites, again jump and off to another um, branch and try something new. Probably, go upside down and probably just hold your own tail or catch somebody else's tail or pull somebody else's ear. That's exactly how our mind is. It loves jumping around and it loves thinking all sorts of things, and most of the times the mind, it either stays in the past or it stays in the future. You observe your own self and you will realize that mind either stays most of the times in the past or most of the times in the future. And it stays in the present moment for a very little amount of time. You observe this with your thoughts. Your mind stays in the present moment for a very little amount of time. Most of the time, we're jumping left, right, here, there all the time, right? And a lot of times, we also get into the train of thoughts. Um, so I'll do a screen share to explain the train of thoughts. Let's see here. I have amazing drawing skills, so please bear with me. Yeah, here we go. So let's say this is one thought that has come to my mind here. Okay. And then this one thought leads to another thought. And then I have another thought, which is all connected now. Then one more, and then one more, and then one more, and then one more. And then there's another thought, then another thought. And you see how the train goes on? This is exactly what happens in our brains. So let's say one of your friend was supposed to call you and your friend doesn't call you, and then what happened? Friend did not call. So I'll use another color. So what happened? Friend did not call. What kind of thoughts we had? Oh, my friend is, ghosting on me, has, gone away somewhere, not even informed me, is trying to ditch me, or maybe my friend doesn't want to speak with me. What did I do? Did I do anything wrong? Oh, maybe she's angry on me, or maybe he's angry on me. What if my friend is going out with the other friend with whom I've stopped talking to, and so on. It happens with all of us. Yes? How many of you? Does it happen with you? Yeah, yes, I see so many. Yeah. Hmm. So this train of thoughts, is it real? Absolutely no. It's all fake. It's just in the mind, right? So with mindfulness, what happens is it helps us, stop that train. It helps us stay at the incident itself. It helps us stay there itself. All right. So when I say mindfulness is going to help you stay in the present moment, or it's going to help you stay on the incident. What happened? Friend me, and that's about it. The train doesn't go forward. You don't get other thoughts. Also, what happens is, remember the monkey jumping I told you? The monkey jumping from the past to the present to the future to everywhere. This jumping monkey becomes silent. The jumping monkey starts focusing on the present moment. It just sits there on one branch and relaxes and enjoys itself. And when you are able to bring that monkey to that steady present moment, your monkey is going to be the most amazing servant you can ever have. Your mind is the best servant that you can ever have. And if you let the mind control you, it will be the worst master that you ever have. All right. So,
Inhale a fade, exhale a
okay,
fade into rest exhalation.
somebody saying something? I can't hear you. Okay, nobody's saying anything. All right. Yeah, so I was talking about the monkey and it's jumping and trying to bring the monkey to rest. So my simple question here is, if you want a monkey to rest in one place, what do? What do? We want a monkey to stay in one place. The simple thing that we do is we give a banana to the monkey, right? If you give a banana to a monkey, the monkey sits quietly in one place, nicely enjoying the banana, right? It won't jump here or there. It will just sit in one place. So Our mind monkey, the monkey mind. What is a banana for the monkey mind? It's very simple. The banana for the monkey mind is watch breath. Something that we just did right now, just 2-3 minutes back, 5 minutes back. Watch breath is the best thing that we can ask our monkey mind to do. That's the banana. So now we are going to try it out. Okay, this was all theory. Now let's try it out. Let's see if this is really happening or not. So we'll do another exercise. Earlier we just watched our breath. Now we are going to take it a step further. What we'll do is we'll take 3 breaths. We'll count till 3. So how 3? We'll sit straight, relax straight, not stiff straight. Be very careful. We'll take deep breaths. When I say deep breath, it doesn't mean you'll breathe like this. No, it's a relaxed deep breath that you take nicely at your own pace. So we will breathe in, breathe out, and count 1. We'll again do the same thing. Breathe in, breathe out, count 2. Then we'll again breathe in, breathe out, and count 3. And once you're done that, you'll open your eyes and type in the chat box how you felt with this exercise. You may start now. All right, once you're done, you can type how you're feeling right now. Okay, feeling better, good. Yes, if you start practicing, yes, it will benefit you. Hmm. Yeah, please tell me, ma'am. So what we did was a micro practice. All right, this is called a micro practice for mindfulness. Now we'll take a step further. All right, we did 3 counts. Now we will do 10. All right, now we will do 10. Same process, slow deep breaths, as slow as possible, as deep as possible. Do not pressurize yourself. Do not force your breathing. Do not try to control. Go as slow as possible, as deep as possible, but at your own pace. Now, instead of 3 counts, we will do 10 counts. So you'll do breathe in, breathe out 1, breathe in, breathe out 2, breathe in, breathe out 3, and so on up till 10. And once you're done with 10, you will again come back on the chat box and type down, document how you're feeling now. So your time starts now. There is no specific time, but you can start. And I will mute myself now. Once you're done, you may slowly open your eyes and you can enter how you feel now on the chat box. You can send me a private chat or you can send it as a public chat. All right, so a lot of people are feeling calm, relaxed, feeling fresh, becoming weightless, feeling light, flying mode. Okay, peaceful. Something is happening in the mind but can't express much better than earlier. Okay, good. All right, okay. So, any questions so far? Any doubts you guys have? You want to ask me anything? You can type it in the chat box and then we'll proceed. You have no questions and you can just do a thumbs up instead of a hand raise. You do a thumbs up. Okay, so I see no questions so far. Or yeah,
Gunjan ma'am,
yes,
someone has put the
yeah.
message in the chat box saying that the counting is disturbing my relaxation or my peacefulness. I mean,
Hmm.
could you say something on this? Like, I just want to hear because even I felt a little like that.
Sure. So that is the next thing. In fact, it's not just counting. There are a lot of there are 2, 3 more responses which I will be speaking about. For example, concentration, and we also have somebody saying unable to control thoughts for this long. I also have somebody saying, yeah, what you highlighted, counting disturbs my relaxation, unable to control thoughts, concentration, focus, concentrate on breath, so no thoughts come to mind. So there are some things that mindfulness is, and then there are some things that mindfulness doesn't do, or it is not about all of these things, which we'll cover moving forward. So thank you for asking the question. It is definitely going to be covered next. Besides this, any other question? Yes, somebody mentioned some disturbing thoughts, which is absolutely fine. Okay, there's a question, when our mind feel like monkey, then what to do? Answer is mindfulness. All right, so I will do a whiteboard share again. So I'll share a couple of things that mindfulness is not about. Mindfulness is not about concentrating on the thoughts or on the breath. You will ask me why? Why no concentration? The logic is simple. When I ask you to concentrate on something, there is an effort involved. You all will agree with this, right? And when there is an effort involved, the energy levels go down. Okay. So there is no focusing, there is no concentrating, because both of these lead to an effort from your side. So we do not need to focus on the breath. We do not need to concentrate on the breath. Then you'll ask me, okay, then focus nahi karna, concentrate nahi karna. What are we supposed to do? It is very, very simple. We have to just simply become aware. Now, when I say become aware of your breath, it's very simple. It's effortless. Because the breath is already there, it's going on. It's just that we are not aware. We are so engrossed in everything else around us that we're just not even aware of our own breath. So when I ask you to do a specific exercise that, okay, let's breathe or let's become aware of our breath, that is when we realize that, oh, my breath is going on. But even when you're not aware, it's still going on, right? So there is no focus, there is no concentration, there is no controlling also. So there is no control needed. A lot of people think, oh, you know what? I need to control myself, or I need to control my thoughts. Let me hold on to my thoughts. I'm not going to think anything negative. Oh no, I want only positive thoughts, only positive thoughts. No, that's not what mindfulness is. We do not need to control anything. We do not need to focus on anything. We do not need to concentrate. Just have to become simply aware. So when I sit and when I do my breathing, when I do my awareness breathing, it's very simple. There will obviously be a lot of thoughts coming to my mind, right? My mind is jumping. So I just acknowledge it. I say, okay, yeah, oh, there it goes, negative thought. Oh, there comes another positive thought. I am sitting here, I'm just watching the, the thoughts. It's very simple. It's like, let's say you've gone to see, watch a badminton match going on. What do? You are an audience, right? You are sitting outside. You don't go inside and play. You sit outside and you just watch. Oh, the shuttlecock went from left to right. Oh, that was a nice serve, and it went from right to left or left to right. Okay, good. Oh, that's a miss. You're just watching it. Are you getting indulged into it? No. Are you getting involved? No. Are you playing the game? No. The trouble with us is that we start playing each and every game the mind is playing. And that is where we get tangled, and that is where we get stressed and exhausted and etc. etc. So now what happens is when we start focusing on our breath, sorry, my bad, not focusing. When we start becoming more and more aware of our own self. Now watch, I'm moving from breath to self. When I'm becoming more and more about my breath, it helps me become more and more about myself. So that response over there, that what, counting is disturbing me. That's amazing. That's the first step towards awareness. You at least you are now aware that counting is disturbing you. There are so many of us, we are not even aware that it disturbs. Then there was somebody who said, you know what, I was not able to control my thoughts. Well, congratulations. That's the first step towards awareness, that at least you're now aware that there are negative thoughts coming to your mind. What you want to do about it or what you don't want to do is a choice that we have. Are we getting this, everyone? Response, please. Yes, no? Yes, okay. Okay. All right, so I'll continue here with the screen share again. So it's just like a simple thing, okay? You're standing here on the highway, okay? There's a road here. You're standing here. This is the highway. And there are cars going from both the sides, right? Cars are going and coming. Oops, my bad. Let's understand this example. So stay with me and you'll get this. Okay, we're standing here and there are cars coming and going. So you have a yellow car and you have a red car and now you have a blue car and then let's say you have a green car. Okay, you can happily laugh at my drawings. I'm very good at them. I really enjoy these sticky drawings. All right. So there are various types of cars passing by on the road in front of you, and you're standing here. All right. Now, let's say your destination is Japan. Japan is in green, which logically tells you that it's only the green car that can take you to Japan. Which car will you sit in, or which car will you stop and get inside? Type your answers. Let me read them. Which car will you sit in? Will you sit in the red, the green, the blue, the yellow? Let's also add a black car, which is really fat. So Japan is in green, so your destination can be achieved only when you sit in the same color gadi, same color car. Which car will you sit in? Blue. But Japan is in green. Green. Not green, ma'am. Green car. Okay, you love red color. Good. Hmm. So logically speaking, what is happening is I want to go to Japan, which is green in color. In order to go to Japan, I need to sit in the green car. It's only the green car that will help me go to my destination here. All right. Will you ever sit in this car, this car, this car, or this car? No. Why? Because they're not taking you where you want to go. All right. Now understand this. Japan is nothing but your goal or what you want in any particular situation. All right. Now, what happens with us is we generally land up sitting in all sorts of cars. What happens with us? We indulge in the red car, we indulge in the blue car, we indulge in the yellow car, we indulge in the black car, and so many other cars that are passing by. We rarely sit in the green car, which actually is going to take us towards our goal. That's the biggest mess up that we create. Whereas actually, you do not need to sit in any of these. Now, replace these cars with the thoughts in your mind. Replace these cars with the thoughts in your mind. Now, what's happening? You have a red thought, you have a green thought, you have a blue thought, you have a yellow thought, you also have a black thought, right? Which thought is going to take you to your goal? Only the green one. Here, this one. It's only the green thought that will take you towards your goal. But we get tangled with everything else. How do you escape this or how do you come out of this? Very simple. Whether to indulge in other thoughts or not, whether to sit in other cars or not, is a choice that you have. It is a choice that you make. It's your own choice. When you are standing on the highway, you do not go around sitting on into each and every car, right? You don't stop every car. You don't all them. You don't say, oh, I want to sit in this car. I want to go where you are going. No. You just pick only that one car, only that one vehicle which is going to take you where you want to go. We don't sit in all the cars. We make a choice that no, I'll sit in the one that takes me towards my destination. Then why is it that we indulge in each and every thought which is not helping us at all? You getting this? Yes? This is precisely the first step towards stress, the first step towards overthinking. This also leads to a lot of other issues which we are not here to discuss. We're here to discuss how or what can we do to be able to make the right choice, right? Life is all about making the right choice. Now, how do you come to know which car am I supposed to sit in? You'll have to look, right? You'll have to look at each and every car, right? We'll have to look which car is the one which is taking me where I want to go. Now, when you look, it's nothing but you watching. Remember, I told you watch your thoughts. Remember, I told you watch the game. You do not go and play in the game. So, when you start watching your own thoughts, okay, which thought is helping me? Which thought is not helping me? When you start watching your thoughts and not identifying yourself with the thought, that is the first step to release yourself from stress, to release yourself from all the trouble that you have. Are you getting this? Thumbs up? Show me a thumbs up. Are you all with me? Mm-hmm. I see a lot of chats. Yes. Okay. So the aspect of that very much action of being able to watch my thoughts, being able to identify what is working, what is not working, or oh, I am getting a non-working thought, or oh, I'm getting a negative thought, or I'm getting a stressful thought. Just that awareness is your first step, and that itself is also mindfulness. Mindfulness is simply being aware of what is going inside and what is going outside, all around you and all inside you, right? Now, once you are aware that, oh, this thought is not going to lead me where I want to go, you will obviously not sit into it. You will not indulge into it, right? So, awareness is what we need. Most of us live our lives on auto mode. Get up, wake up, brush your teeth, get ready, go to school, go to college, go to work, come back, eat, sleep, get up. Same cycle repeats. We are all living on auto mode. We are not even living, we are just surviving, right? Now, what is really needed is become aware. Ask yourself, what am I doing? Why am I doing? What makes me do this? What is the purpose behind doing this? How am I feeling when I do this? That is the first step towards awareness. That is the first step towards awareness, which is really needed. We need to get into that state. So, as a student, let's say I start studying and I get a thought. Okay, a random thought pops up in my mind. I'm like, oh, you know what? This is a nonsense thought. I don't want to indulge into it. And you just happily walk away from the thought, right? Being able to identify, getting into that awareness is mindfulness. So coming back to that part that, oh, somebody said counting is disturbing me. It's okay. You can drop that. You don't need to count. It's just an exercise to get you to become more aware of yourself. You cannot count, fine. You want to count, fine. You don't want to count, it's absolutely fine. There is no mandate, there is no compulsion. When I asked you to, practice this breathing, or when I asked you to become aware of your breath, did I say that you're not allowed to think anything, or you shouldn't get any negative thoughts, or you should breathe very long, it has to be for 2 minutes only, blah, blah, blah? No, there were no terms and conditions. It was very simple. Just become aware of your breath. That's it. Right? So if you're getting a thought, you as an observer is just watching the thought. You're not sitting on the train of thought. Remember, I showed you the train, the first thought, the engine. Now you're not sitting in that engine and driving the train. You're not indulging in the whole train. So whatever happened, you drop it there. Okay, I'm aware that this thing has happened, and you're not going beyond it. So if you now also realize the train of thoughts will never happen in your head once you start practicing on a regular basis. Now, all of this is very easy to say. It's not magic. It's very natural. It's very obvious, and it's very simple, provided you practice on a daily basis. That's the most important thing. Practice. So when you start practicing daily, slowly and gradually you'll become more and more aware of your own self, of your own thoughts, and then you will be able to practice the power of your own choice. That, okay, I choose to not get into this. I'll give you one more example. um, so while coming to my workplace, I generally travel by a cab, and then there was this one, you know bike rider, and he literally, cut the traffic lanes and was really speeding through, and the cab driver was, he had to do a jerky turn and everything to keep us safe. I got really angry and annoyed. I was like, how can people drive like this? How can he ride like this? He doesn't understand. He's risking others' life, his own life, blah, blah, blah. You see the train forming? Couldn't understand, what if something would have happened? What if something happened to me? What if my car went turtle? What this? What you see the monkey jumping? It's randomly jumping here and there. However, what happened? Because I have been practicing mindfulness for a very long time now, I was aware that, okay, what is happening? Angry thoughts are passing through me. Okay, what is happening? I'm in the car, I'm sitting here. The biker has messed up, he's done something wrong. Because of that, an angry thought is passing through me. Now, the thought is passing through me. What do I choose to do? I have a choice here. I have a choice to indulge into that thought and get angry, or I have the choice to just let it go. So I said, okay, this is really not needed. I can't go and change the biker or do anything. Let him pass. I let the angry thought pass. I let it just go. I saved my energy, I saved my time, I saved my mental peace. Any which ways, I was not able to do anything with the rider. So I did not indulge into that anger, that angry thought. I got angry, but I did not express it. I did not need to do it, and naturally it subsided. Gradually it subsided. I'm all right now. Are you getting this? Yeah. So again, a quick recap. Monkey mind, train of thoughts, traffic, loads of vehicles, loads of thoughts in the head. We don't sit into everything, we don't indulge into everything. We always have a choice whether to sit in that vehicle or not, whether to indulge into that particular thought that's passing through your mind or not. All right. And another very important thing which I will share now is, remember, I said an angry thought is passing through me. Did I say I am angry? No. I am not identifying with the thought. It's a thought passing through me. It's an angry thought. I am not angry. There's a difference. This is me. This is a thought. There's a difference between both of us. When we start practicing these things, when we start becoming aware of the difference between what is passing through me, what I am, I'm not an angry person. I'm a peaceful person. It's very natural for you to automatically let go. There's somebody who's asking a question, how can I let go? then it becomes easy for us to let go. Okay, I'm not saying not to take any action. Had I chosen at that point, I would have easily taken probably the number plate of that person and lodged a complaint or something. I may have done that, but I chose not to. It's a choice, right? And also understand, not every battle is worth fighting. Not every thought is worth indulging. So when I'm angry with one of my colleagues, I would indulge into it. I would let my colleague know that, you know what, I am angry right now with you for so and so reasons. But I wouldn't go ahead and shout at that person, right? So what is passing through you, what you are going through is one thing, acting on it is another, right? So now go ahead and quickly type down whatever you've understood till now on the chat box. All right, so I've done a recap. Whatever you've understood till now, I invite all of you to go ahead and write down what you understood. What was your key takeaway from today's discussion till now? Type it down in the chat box. Making a choice, okay. Okay, very good. So letting go is not easy, but it's not impossible. Very good. And also understand it's not very important for us to let go immediately. Sometimes it takes time. Okay. Make a choice. You always have a choice. Whether you want to indulge into something or not. A good thought, a bad thought, whatever you have. Yes, to express your anger or not is a choice. Okay, so there is one question from one of us. It is, ma'am, what is the difference between angry thought and an angry person? When a person thought, then he or she will react. Look, a person will get angry for whatever reasons. Now, this person is aware that, okay, I am feeling angry or there's an angry thought passing through me. This person will be in a state to be able to respond and not react. I hope you all understand there's a difference between react and respond. All right. So reaction is, we'll cover more of this in the next session where we'll talk more about the difference between react and response. But when a person responds, it's the person who is in control. When the person reacts, it is the mind in control, right? So when I'm angry, if I'm responding, so remember I gave the colleague example, I'm mad, I'm angry at my colleague. I will speak with my colleague and tell that person, you know what, I'm really angry on you for XYZ reason. Why don't you do something about it? That is more of a response instead of a reaction. A reaction would be going and shouting at that colleague. Why did you do this? You made me angry. You're such a bad person. Blah, blah, blah. So that is the difference. Angry thought is just passing through you. An angry person is somebody who's actually gone ahead and indulged into that angry thought. And then obviously there will be a reaction. Are we clear? The person who's typed that question, I request you to tell me whether you are clear with this or not. Okay, good. Thank you. You say yes. There's one more question. Is dealing short-tempered people can be explained? Yeah, people see we cannot control anybody. I can't control you. You cannot control me. Okay. What I can control is myself and my responses. Okay, I can control my responses. So that's the best part. So if somebody around me is short-tempered, it's okay. That's that person's problem, no, not mine. Let that person stay short-tempered. What I can do as a response is approach the person and tell the person that, look, you know what? Let's call that person Mr. X. You say, Mr. X, I observe that you get angry very often. What is it that is troubling you? Now everybody knows, okay, you and me, we all know that we get angry when something is troubling us, which means that if somebody else is angry, there is something which is troubling that person. So instead of getting angry in return, how about going and asking that person, okay, what is making you angry? What is troubling you? How would you feel if somebody approaches you when you are angry and somebody asks you, please tell me what is troubling you? Won't you feel good? If you realize the whole approach has changed now. The short-tempered person will not stay short-tempered anymore because you are showing a genuine concern. You're showing genuine, love, connection, concern, humanity, awareness for that person, and that's an amazing thing. You'll be able to build such a good bond with that person then. Okay, so person who typed that question, please respond. Did you get your answer? Okay, yes, understood. Thank you. So there is one more question. How do we let go controlling responses? Look, it's a practice, okay? It's a practice that we will follow. We don't have to control anything. There's no controlling. It's always making a choice. When I say control, it's effort involved. There's a lot of effort involved because I'm trying to do something against what is generally happening. We try to control things which are going beyond. Otherwise, there's no control needed, right? So, what is the need to control in the first place? Is my question. Why do you need to control? All you need to do is just become aware of what is happening to you, what is happening inside you, and respond accordingly. I'm not saying don't express your anger. I'm saying if you get that angry thought inside you, go ahead, express that anger, but in a positive way, not in a damaging way. So instead of shouting back, why don't you ask the person, okay, what is making you angry? You getting this? So the person who asked that question, please respond. Do you get your answer? All right. Yes. All right. Cool. Great. So for today, we did 2 exercises. We did the 3 breath exercise. We did the 10 breath exercise. We'll do one more exercise and then I'll give you homework. Okay. So I have around 15 minutes left. So we'll quickly do this exercise. For the next 3 minutes, we will all sit up straight, the normal relaxed straight. We'll bring all our awareness. Okay, now awareness, no focus, no concentration. Okay, no effort involved. Simply being aware. Your breath is already there. So there is no effort involved. It's completely effortless. So now what we will do is for the next 3 minutes, when I say your time starts now, we will just simply pull all our awareness on our breath, go with the natural flow of the breath. At the same time, we will watch the thoughts. Let the thoughts come and go. So if you get a thought, oh, it's raining heavily, you'll say, okay, that's thought number 1. So you will count 1. And there'll be another thought passing by. You'll count 2. The third thought, oh, I'm not carrying an umbrella. Oh my God, what will happen if I get wet? I want to have tea. I'm feeling very sleepy. So on. Let's do this exercise for the next 3 minutes. I will unmute myself after 3 minutes. Till then, I am on mute. Let's start this practice. Your time starts now. All right, you all may stop now. The next thing that we do is analyze that most of your thoughts, in which zone were they? Were they in the past, they were in the present, or they were in the future? Observe and then type your response in the chat box. Let's see where your thoughts are. All right, past and present, present. Okay. Mixed, all right. Past, present, future, and present. Okay, future and present, good. Past. Hmm. All right, so I have many people telling that, the thoughts are mostly in the past. Okay, you give banana to the monkey. Very good. So when we were watching breath, when we did the thought exercise, what happened? Now tell me your responses. When you were watching your breath, and along with that, when you were counting the thoughts, how did you feel? Type your responses. How did you feel? Okay, many disturbing thoughts. Good. That's the first step. You at least now become aware that there are thoughts. Good. Okay, somebody had a realization that there are a lot of nonsense things going on in the head. Good. That's the first step to awareness. At least now you're aware that there is nonsense going on. Absolutely. There are more important things. So now that you're aware, you will be able to focus more on the important things. Now you can make the choice. Hmm. Okay. There's one person who's written first thought was the first breathing exercise you told. Help me understand this, Vacha. I couldn't understand this one. Others responses, please. How did you feel with this exercise? Okay, so this is one person who said that more than awareness of thoughts, I was aware that I should count them. So a little bit disturbing. So I'll tell you one thing, okay? When I say you should, okay, if I say you should do this or you should do that, if you observe properly, the should is a lot of pressure on yourself. Oh, you should have food. And it's like you're being pressurized. With mindfulness, there's no pressure involved. If you can count them, great. If you're struggling with counting the thoughts, okay. Are you getting this? What often happens is that whatever is happening, we try to resist it. Oh, this shouldn't happen, this shouldn't happen, this shouldn't happen. And when you stop so much, it's going to trouble you. It obviously is going to trouble you. So when I say just become aware of your thoughts, just watch them, you just watch them, you count them, that's it. And if you miss on counting them, it's fine. It's a simple counting awareness exercise. Pressurizing yourself so much for something that's not happening easily is also leading to stress. Okay. So the person who posted that question, I expect your response. Do you get your answer? Please respond on the chat box. Okay. The person says, I take everything seriously, it pressurizes me. Yes. How to overcome all of this? By watching your breath. That is the first step. Okay. You want to overcome all this pressurizing. The first step is to watch breath. That's the easiest method. When you watch breath, you're giving your monkey the banana. When the monkey is sitting with the banana, it is sitting in the present moment. Now, when the monkey is sitting in the present moment, what happens is the monkey becomes 100% aware. It is you who becomes 100% aware of the present moment. You are in the present moment. You're here right now. And when you are here right now in the present moment with 100% of your own self, you know everything that's going on outside and inside, right? And when you know everything that's going outside and inside, when you're 100% aware, what happens is you will not be able to react, you will be able to respond. And when you respond, everything starts changing around you, right? Your relationships improve, you are able to better focus on studies, you are better equipped to handle any situation at hand, you are calm, you're composed, you're poised, you know what you want and you know what to do in that particular situation. So just that watching breath brings you back to the present moment. When you're present moment, your productivity will definitely improve. So watching breath is definitely the first step, and you need to keep doing that throughout the day. Okay, we need to keep watching breath as frequently as possible. You walking down the stairs, watch breath. Just watch. Don't try to control because you're going down. You might be breathing heavy. Walking up the stairs. Okay, watch breath. You'll observe that your breath is much heavier. You're speaking with somebody, you can speak, you can be 100% with the person because you'll be able to listen really very well to what they are saying. And if you get somewhere lost in between, this happens with most of us. When somebody's saying something but mentally you're somewhere else, you don't even realize what the other person is saying, and then you give some vague response, and then the person gets angry, and then the relationship gets spoiled, right? When you're 100% present, you will be there with the person, will not give any random response, the relationship won't get spoiled. So everything, if you see, fits perfectly once you start watching breath. Watch breath is the banana for your monkey mind. Let it stay calm, poised in the present moment. And this is a practice. Okay. So for the next day, like today is the 31st, and my next session is on the 2nd. So for whatever days you have in between, and for all the time that you have throughout the day, watch breath as frequently as possible. I won't come and ask you, okay, how many times did you watch your breath? What did you do? How many thoughts you had? I am not going to do any of that. It's a choice that you will make today, whether you want to have a stress-free life or you want to stay in the state that you are in. This is an experiment. Pick it up as an experiment. Try it out for 5-10 days. If it works, great. If it doesn't, drop it. Do your own bit of research on this topic. Do your own bit of research on different exercises for this thing, right? But I invite you to explore this area for yourself so that you are able to become a better individual. You're able to become the best version of yourself. So we did 3 exercises, 3 counts, 10 counts, and then watching the thoughts, right? You'll do all these 3 exercises as and when possible for you for the next 2 days' time. So that is your exercise. And additionally, you will also watch that most of the times, where does your monkey sit? Does it sit in the past, or does it sit in the present, or does it go in the future? Or whether it's a mix, or it's like past, future, it's present, future, past, present, whatever it is. Just observe. And also remember, there's nothing like good, bad, or anything of that sort. So please don't get into that loop of, oh my God, it's in the past. That's such a bad thing. Oh God, now what should I do? No, no, no. Let me bring my mind to the present, present, present. And then you start forcing yourself and you start pressurizing yourself. And then that's exactly the opposite of what we want. We want to just be in a comfortable state of mind. When you are comfortable, that is when you're easily in the present. When you're easily in the present, that's the best thing that can happen to you. All right. So there is one more question. Is students can be helped through watching breath in studies? Yes, absolutely. Do the 10 breath count exercise before you start with your studies. All right. You exercise, you did the exercise right now. When you did that 10 count breathing, most of you, I'm sure, felt very calm in the head. You felt refreshed. Now you tell me, when you are in a calm state of mind, when you're completely refreshed, won't you be able to understand your studies much better? Won't you be able to focus much better on your studies? Your concentration will improve. So remember, when you're doing the exercise for mindfulness, there's no concentration, there's no focus. But when you complete the exercise and when you get back to your studies, you will be able to concentrate better because your mind is empty, it's blank, you're relaxed. You getting this? So yes, good focus, good concentration are the byproducts of mindfulness. And pressurizing your own self, not working. And I don't say it just for the sake of saying it. I have been through it. I pressurized myself a lot for a lot of things. And trust me, it did not work. It just doesn't work. So I've experienced it, I've tried it, and mindfulness has helped me. So I invite you, all of you, to try it out and see how it goes. Okay. So 3 exercises, 3 counts whenever you have less time, 10 counts, and do not get yourself hung up on the 3 count or 10 counts. Okay. If you have more time, you can do 20, 30, 40. You don't want to count, you don't count. It's absolutely fine. You can just simply watch breath. Forget counting. We don't need to count. There's no contest. I'm not going to ask you, oh, how many counts did you do? Right? So that's how you want to work it out. You want to just simply watch breath. Now you can watch breath by counting. You can watch breath by observing the thoughts. You can watch breath while working. You can watch breath while eating. You can watch breath while having water. You can watch breath while doing anything because your breathing is still going on. Na? When you study, you don't stop breathing. Breathing is going on. Just simply become aware in the present moment. It's damn easy if you are really keen on improving yourself and your life. All right. So there's one person who says that's why you became master of mindfulness. Wanna be like you, man. I suggest you become the best version of your own self. You are unique. You're precious. Be you. Be the real you, not the fake you, not the pressurized you, not the you that everybody else wants you to be. Be the you that you want you to be. Getting this? Yeah. Yes, no, everyone. Show me a thumbs up at least now. Yes, the best version of your own self. All right. So it's 12:34. It's time for us to wrap up this session. But before that, if you anybody of you has any questions, I can wait for 2 more minutes to take all your questions, and I'll address them. If they are simple ones, I can address them right away. Otherwise, I'll address them in the next session. So please throw in your questions. You have any doubts, anything that you have on head, don't keep anything in the head. Just put it out all on the chat and we'll take care of it. Hmm. Okay. No questions? Okay, somebody says, will watch my monkey must eat banana. Now the must is a stick approach. It has to eat banana. But why are you not eating banana? Attack. You have to eat the banana. There is no force, no pressure involved. Relax. Give the banana. The monkey will eat the banana when the monkey is hungry. But very good. That's the first step towards moving forward. So great. Very well done and good luck to all of you. All right.